Hello everyone, and welcome to this intermediate recorder lesson. If you're new to the recorder, I recommend checking out this series first. This is more or less going to be a continuation from that series after video 6. Today we're going to be learning a super helpful exercise that I created for you. We're also going to be learning the song My Heart Will Go On from the Titanic soundtrack. By the way, as of yesterday, my YouTube channel just reached 100,000 subscribers. Thanks everybody, I couldn't have done it without you. For real though, without you guys, I would not be able to do this, so thank you for watching this video. If it is helpful for you, please give it a thumbs up. Let's start with the helpful exercise. It's also a great warm-up. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be playing only with the left hand, and we're gonna be working up our scale. We're gonna do the notes G, A, B, C, D, and a high E. That high E there is a new note if you're coming from the last series. So let's start by playing the note G. That's 0, 1, 2, 3 here. And then going to an A. B. C. D, removing the hole on the back, 0. I should say removing the thumb on the back. And then the note high E is when we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 covered, but without the hole on the back. It's basically the same thing as the low E, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the thumb removed. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I go from a low note to a high note, my eyebrows go up. It's like instinctual or something. So let's go through that sequence of notes again. G, A, B, C, D, and high E. Two things to look out for: make sure you have good upright posture to support your breath. Also, on these mid to high notes, you want to start each note with a ta or a da or a la. Just use your tongue to start the note. T, t, t. But don't go too hard because you'll get this. And then your cats and dogs will hate you. So now let's go down that sequence, starting from the high E. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the back hole uncovered. Here's E. D, C, B, A, G. So you can get a lot of variability in pitch just on one note with how you change the breath. So for example, if you listen to this G, I'll try to change it on purpose with my breathing. That's why it's important to sit upright and to make sure when you are actually blowing into the recorder that you're playing a steady stream of air. You might find yourself adjusting when you play different notes because every single note feels a little bit differently on the recorder. They take different amounts of air. For example, that high E takes a lot of air. But if you play a really low note like the low C, you almost need no air. In fact, if you try to use a lot of air on a low note, it'll not work out for you, I guarantee it. So this is why practice really helps. The more you practice, you'll learn that each of the notes takes a little bit different amount of air. And the recorder you're playing on does make a huge difference. I have like 10 recorders. Most of them are like super cheap, between like $5 and $15. And sometimes when I'm playing on one of them, I just can't get a note to come out. I have no idea why. I mean, it's probably my fault, but if the recorder is like $6, then there could be some problems with it. Quality control. But I will say the difference between the cheap plastic recorder and like a professional wood recorder is that the low notes are a lot easier to play on this. So something to think about. If you've made it to the intermediate series, maybe it's time for an upgrade. So now let's practice going up and then down through that exercise. What we'll do is we'll go up through the notes up to the top from G to high E, and then we'll come back down. Starting on low G. You can make up your own exercises on the recorder. For example, we can take that one that we just did, and instead of playing each note one time, we play them 3 times. So for example, we would go G, 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 A, B, B, B. Let's try that now. 1, 2, ready, go. Whew, that takes a lot of breath. Now let's try playing along with a jam track. Very nice. So that jam track is from my book, Recorder Jams for Kids. You can find it here on my Shopify page. Adults can also use it. It's not a complete method from A to Z, but it's a great supplement for my beginner series here on YouTube. It'll teach you how to just solidify the basic techniques of the recorder. It's basically just a bunch of songs with jam tracks and video demonstrations that you play along to. It's very helpful to play along with jam tracks and videos because they teach you how to play with a beat. Now let's learn the song My Heart Will Go On from the Titanic soundtrack. We're going to mainly be in the mid to high register on this song, but we're also going to do a couple low notes. We can think of this intro as 4 lines of music that we have to learn. Originally, it was played on a penny whistle. The first part goes G, A, B, A, G, A, D. Let's try that now. The next part goes C, B, G, down to an E, a low E, and then a low C, and then a low D. Sounds like this. That might actually be the hardest part of the 4 lines because we have to go from a higher register all the way down to the bottom, and those bottom notes, C and D, take very little air. And when you play those low notes, don't use ta, just breathe directly into the recorder, soft, warm air. Let's do that second line again. The third line is the exact same thing as the first line, so let's try that again. G, A, B, A, G, A, D. The last line goes B, D, high E, D, A, G. The switch from a high D to a high E is pretty tricky, I'm not gonna lie, especially since your thumb is off the back hole. Let's try practicing the high D to the high E now. So here's high D. High E. High D. High E. You basically have this balancing act between your thumb on the back and your mouth. Because your thumb is off the back. I mean, you can roll your thumb off if you want, but a lot of times if you try to roll your thumb off instead of just removing it, you'll half cover the hole on the back and you'll get some weird stuff going on. I would just do this a bunch of times. Now let's play through the whole thing slowly, line by line. G, A, B, A, G, A, D. C, B, G, E, low C, low D. Third line, G, A, B, A, G, A, D. B, D, high E, high D, A, G. Now a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3.